because I had an emergency surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Just a week before I arrived to Germany. So it was kind of challenging. I got a call in the hospital when I was laying like right after surgery. I just got a call and they said, okay, just come and pick your visa. And I was like literally bleeding and I was like laying there and I was like, okay, coming. And I had to just go to a different city. I did not inform myself about anything. Like I just came blindly. I didn't know anything about how to get to Chemnitz. I didn't know about existence of Chemnitz. First of all, maybe it's interesting. Like I did not know where is Chemnitz. I just applied for a program and yeah.
At the moment I arrived, when I wanted to come to the house, I had to ride a bus. And of course, we don't have bank accounts, so I had to give a cash. So when I went to the bus and I wanted to give cash, the guy said that it's only with card. And so I didn't have card. And then he told me you have to go somewhere and buy. And I didn't understand anything. Of course, it was German. Then before I get out, there was an old woman came to me and told me don't go out. And she paid for me. And as much as I insisted to pay the money, she just refused. And she was constantly telling me if everything is good, if you need anything. It was a really good experience as a first impression that I had because of the previous things that you hear for Germany and specifically east of Germany.
Hi everyone, welcome to our very first episode of Chat Abroad. My name is Olima and I'm your host.
And my name is Mohammed Hussein and I am your co-host.
In our very first episode, we just want to give you a short introduction and what are we going to do in this podcast and what is it about?
Yeah, so to give you a short introduction, as Olima just told you, this podcast will be categorized in two parts for now. Basically, the first part is like this. We will have just interviews with people from all walks of life, whether they are students, professionals, adventurers who take a leap to live in a completely different country. And we talk about what were their challenges, what are their stories that they have to tell us, which will be really interesting for us also to hear. And the second part will be a kind of a game show because we will have different people from different countries and different cities, of course. We will ask them general questions about their history, about their art, science, sport, and anything. And of course, there will be prizes at the end if they answer a certain amount of questions. For now, these are the things that we just want to talk about, but we will just see the course of the podcast, how it will go. Maybe we will change some stuff along the way.
Yeah, and before we kick off, maybe a small disclaimer that we are not native English speakers. English is our second language. So if you make any mistakes or grammatical mistakes, please excuse us in advance.
Yes.
But the main goal is just to have fun and learn new cultures, learn new people. And yeah. So Mamdos, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? And why are you here in beautiful city of East Germany? Chemnitz.
Yes. So for our viewers, we are in Chemnitz, in east part of Germany. Not a very known city, at least for whole world, but known for most Germans. Yeah, or all of them basically. So I guess from our viewers and listeners, they have realized that I have a really thick accent of Isfahan, which is a city in Iran. I was born and raised there. And I studied up to my bachelor studies. And then I decided to come for my master's studies in Germany, Chemnitz. And I have finished my studies now for almost 6 months. And I have been living in Germany for 4 years now, around 4 years.
So tell us your story, how you arrived here. what were the challenges that you faced?
Basically for the applying, there are certainly challenges for each individual, and of course, the time of their arrival, they will have some challenges. For my case, was that it was in Corona time, as a lot of people that came around 4 years ago, and we just had to wait a long time for visa process. So I had to study online for almost 1 year. It was 2 semesters that I studied online, and after that I came to Germany, but I didn't come straight to Chemnitz because I still didn't have any accommodation. So I had to live with my aunt in Düsseldorf, and after a couple of weeks I came to Chemnitz, which also it has its own story, and then I started living in Chemnitz after like few weeks.
So you mentioned that you had problems with accommodation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that for students, especially in Germany, it's a huge challenge to find dormitory or the place to live. But you came to a small city. How come was it a problem for you?
Well, basically because we were applying around Corona time for dormitories. Almost all of them were full, and basically what I needed a separate bathroom and separate kitchen also. So most of those rooms were full, and they just put me in the reserved list, and I had to come very soon because my visa was only like 6 months, and I had to come and get my extension and my card and everything. So I was looking for a house basically in Chemnitz, and I found a house. But there was one problem, was that most of the time when you want a house, which is normal for everywhere, you have to go and visit the house. And then the person who is going to rent the house to you, or as Germans call it, Hausmeister, or in English it will be landlord, have to also approve you that you can live in the house. But for my case was that I just packed my bags from Düsseldorf. I found a house. I emailed the guy. I went there, and when I saw him, he was really nice to me, and he just told me, yeah, you can stay 1 night, 2 nights, or even 1 week, and if you like, you can keep on living and we can sign a contract, which was a really great help as my first impression in Chemnitz, which is basically also, I guess, for a lot of people, is that there is a stereotype regarding the east of Germany that or even Germany, that there might be some racial acts or stuff. But in my case, I really had a good experience. To give you a short story also, the moment I arrived, when I wanted to come to the house, I had to ride a bus, and of course we don't have bank accounts, so I had to give a cash. So when I went to the bus and I wanted to give cash, the guy said that it's only with card. And so I didn't have card, and then he told me you have to go somewhere and buy, and I didn't understand anything. Of course, it was German. Then before I get out, there was an old woman came to me and told me don't go out, and she paid for me. And as much as I insisted to pay the money, she just refused, and she was constantly telling me if everything is good, if you need anything. It was a really good experience as a first impression that I had because of the previous things that you hear for Germany, and specifically east of Germany.
Yeah, there are a lot of stereotypes going around, and you just, when you just move to a new country, you always think what, why, how, and there are a lot of questions. And as you said, you didn't understand anything in German. So how was that? Like, you didn't learn German, or what was your experience regarding the language here?
That's actually a really valid point. I practiced mostly with Duolingo, like most of the students do. And I took some small courses before I come, but it was not that much helpful, specifically, again, because it was in Corona time. All of them had to be conducted online. But I could just say, as much as hello, how are you? And I had to use the international sign language just to live here for a while. But this is a necessity. for Germany.
Of course.
It doesn't matter which city you live. You have to learn the German language and be able to speak little bit so that the life for you would be easier regarding day-to-day life and more importantly later for finding jobs.
Yeah, as we come to finding jobs, so how was that? Did you find a job easily here? And especially you mentioned that you didn't know the language that much.
Yeah.
So how was it? And was it difficult or?
Yeah, actually, it was, to be honest. The first thing that I can tell was that the first year that I was here, like first 9 months, again, because of Corona, there were no jobs, like there were really low amount of jobs to find. So I had to apply for different positions and of course I got rejected because most of them either wanted German or they wanted a person that is not studying anymore. Because I had some experience back in Iran, but not that much, like around 2-3 years I worked. So I had to get creative. I started looking for jobs which were online, like user testing websites where you go and do tests in website for companies or websites that they want to test how it is for the user. And then you get paid really low amount, like €10 for each test. Or even I was thinking to do like e-commerce or any kind of thing just to
have an income.
Yeah, to have a small income, maybe even for my grocery and stuff. But as a lot of students, I had to just burn out through my blocked account, which we have to put money to get our visa extension. But after 9 months, I was able to land my first job at the university as HIVI, they call, or it's like a research assistant. And I started working as 80 hours. And I was just going from different department to a different department. And gladly, I didn't need any German level because in the university, mostly people speak English. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. And your story is actually...
So maybe you can also tell us about your experience, how you had the challenges where you came and how was the process for you. I guess you came also around 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, actually, I guess we came at the same time, but like you came earlier, like a couple of months earlier than me. But I, as you also mentioned, had problems with visa process and lockdown, and everything was not going as planned. And just when I applied to get a visa, and it was kind of process that I wanted to get it faster. But thankfully I did not at that time. Now I realize that it turned out how it was meant to be because I had an emergency surgery just a week before I arrived to Germany. So it was kind of challenging. I got a call in the hospital when I was laying like right after surgery. I just got a call and they said, okay, just come and pick your visa. And I was like literally bleeding and I was like laying there and I was like, okay, coming. And I had to just go to a different city. So yeah, it was the next day I just went and in this condition got my visa. And in 1 week I arrived to Germany and I arrived to Frankfurt. And my experience was that maybe it was kind of stupid from my side that I did not inform myself about anything. Like I just came blindly. Like I didn't know anything about how to get to Chemnitz. I didn't know about existence of Chemnitz. First of all, maybe it's interesting. Like I did not know where is Chemnitz. I just applied for a program and I just Googled it a little bit. And because I physically was not in a good shape.
Yeah, of course.
I just didn't have enough time to do my research before arriving to Germany. Yeah, arrived to Frankfurt, just blindly bought a ticket.
But just something quick is that you didn't do courses in your country. You came straight to Germany to start.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
okay.
did not want to just apply for something just in case or something.
Yeah.
My goal was just to move out and just go abroad.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I arrived to Frankfurt, just bought a random ticket. The lady was very helpful, and thankfully I already knew German. I had a C1 and it was everything going very smoothly.
Okay.
And then I arrived to Leipzig. I will never forget that experience, that I had to take another train till Chemnitz.
Oh, okay.
And like this small train came. It had like literally one wagon and it was full. And I had to like carry I brought only one luggage.
Okay, yeah.
So I had to
So
like
weird
carry
for
there.
one
And
luggage.
even my small luggage was too big for this train.
Yeah.
Which is really like, for me as a first impression, I was like, am I going to a village? Where am I going? Like, it was kind of a surprising sight of the...
Yeah. It's just a weird first impression for you to get in the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after a while, I had really a lot of difficulties and challenges, and I was feeling so lost. And I was like, what should I do? Every time, even when I buy a SIM card, it's not working.
Yeah.
And I arrived Saturday, so like I had to wait till Monday to activate my SIM card.
Everywhere is closed.
Yeah, everything is closed on Sunday. It was like, why nothing works here? Like, where am I? Like, it was a huge, like, kind of a existential crisis for me at that time. But I figured eventually everything out, and I started my program. As you said, also my first semester was in lockdown. I didn't pass any courses, basically. I was just getting used to a life and everything in Germany, and trying to integrate and stuff, doing all the paperwork.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We should mention that this paperwork in Germany, it's like never ending.
Yeah.
And for people...
Would never leave you.
Yeah. And for people who just arrive, it might be really overwhelming. And you have to do a lot of things like bank accounts, insurance, and
like registration for the city.
Yes, and everything it kind of be overwhelming. So you have to be mentally prepared for that when you are just coming abroad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it was kind of like that, and I just started looking for jobs, and because it was like Corona time and everything was closed, no one was really hiring or something.
Exactly.
People were working in home office, and I also like kind of looked for a job around 8 months, and then landed a job.
Okay.
As a working student in a company, and I have to mention that knowing German was really handy. And when I was finding a job, I had a lot more offers than my other friends that didn't know German.
Yeah, of course.
And I should say that if you are planning to come to Germany or any other country that does not have English as a first language, you have to know a little bit of language of the country you are going to.
It should be much more helpful.
It's for you.
Yeah.
Really. It's not because like there will be people who will help you talking with you in English, but mostly when you are in Germany, or as I said before, like any other country that doesn't speak officially English, they will try to help you, but not all of them. You cannot expect all of them to be able to speak with you in English.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's really important when you know a little bit of the language.
It will help you a lot.
It will help you a lot. Even the moment you arrived and came out of the plane, you just need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a really crazy ride, I believe, for everyone. For everyone, it's a crazy ride. The moment they arrive, everyone will have their own experience. That is why we want to hear people's stories and what challenges they had, and definitely some recommendations for people who hear this and people who see this, who can also overcome these problems and know that they are not alone, of course. And this is something that you will face when you move to a different country, completely different language that you don't have any knowledge, or you have some previous knowledge. And so let's just wrap it up. I would say this is a good introduction for both of us.
Yeah, hopefully. And as I mentioned, a lot of times we should say that it's our first experience.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, with not our native language. So I hope it will be in its own way helpful and insightful for people.
Of course.
And we are open to any kind of suggestions, comments. If we can improve our podcast, we will be inviting a lot of interesting people with different backgrounds. So if there are specific things that people would like to know, we are really open to that. And of course, this was a kick-off, and the next episodes will be more detailed and
more general.
More general. And
I would say the next episode will be a kind of a game show. Again, both of us, and we will have some questions asked from the host to the co-host regarding my home country. I am really bad at this, I have to say this.
I'm not also good. So.
Okay. We will have to also discuss about that. But thank you for watching this. Please, again, leave any comments, any suggestions. We would be really happy to hear from you. And we look forward to see you in our next episodes. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. And see you soon.
Okay, got it. Actually, my name is Mohammed. Take it. I'm sorry. You're 2.